Hello and welcome everyone. So in this tutorial we are going to learn about control statements which we have discussed in our previous tutorial also. So this is the continuation of same control flow statement. So here in this tutorial we are going to learn about if else statement, where we are going to validate our block of code with the help of if else block. So if condition is something, whenever the boolean expression is true, it will allow to run our code inside if statement. In case the boolean condition becomes false, we are going to skip that condition and we are jump into the next line. Same way we can see, we can implement it here if else statement into a 4 ways. So first thing we are going to learn about if statement. Another thing that we are going to use it if else condition, which is called statement, and the third one is if else ladder, how we are going to use it, and the fourth one is nested if statement. After that we are going to learn each and everything one by one here in the tutorial. So let me jump into our IDE and I'm going to create one. So like if you can see, I'm going to create one package called com.conditional.statement, and inside that I am going to create one class called if else statements, something like this. And we are done with creating our class. Inside that I am going to create one main method, and after main method, from here I am going to initialize something value called int. But before that I will show you which condition I am going to write. So here I am going to write if statement. So for that let me get into the IDE and I will tell you how we are going to write. So in case if you are seeing, I am declaring one variable called age, and here I am going to put something like 18, and after that I am going to put if condition. So if you are seeing age is less than or greater than 18, I am going to put one statement saying system.out.println, and inside that here I am going to write you are eligible for the driving. So here if you are seeing, I am able to run this code with the help of this play button. Let me run this and I will show you how is the output working. So like if you can see here is our output. Now if you will see our console, there is nothing printed. Why? Because our age is equals to 18 but not greater than 18 here if you can see. But in case we are making it something like 19, our condition is going to run. Let me show you, and here it is printing you are eligible for the driving. Now after that if you are seeing this if condition we are talking about, so here it a kind of validation that we are putting where it clearly shows that 19 is greater than 18 and the condition becomes true. If the condition becomes true, here something comes like you are eligible for driving. In case this condition fails, we are saying that don't print this system.out.println, and the program comes out of the if condition. So after that we are done with our if condition, and now we are moving further for the next condition, that is called if else condition. Now let me show you about if else condition. In case we are having int a number, let's suppose this number is called 17, and for that I am going to put one condition here. That condition is something like if. Now if number is divided by something like 2 whose remainder is equals to 0. So whenever we are finding the mod, we are checking that the number remainder is 0 or not. In case the number is completely divisible by 2 and remainder comes 0, we are going to print something statement called system.out.println, and here we will show this number is even number. And in case this number is not even, we are going to say that this number is odd. Now after this I will run this code and I will show you how the things are working here. So like you can see, whenever we are getting the modulus of number 17, which is not completely divisible by 2 and its remainder doesn't comes 0, That is why this condition is not printing. This condition is printing here, which is else condition. It shows that first condition is not suitable for this boolean value, and boolean value becomes false here. So that is why it is coming to the else condition. Now same thing that we want to check here, we can do it with the help of ternary operator. Now how ternary operator can be implemented instead of else if block? So let me show you that as well. So here I am having one operator, something called, I will say, string, and we are going to check number, something like, let's see, we are having number, and I am going to put one condition, something like number modulus by 2 and equals to 0. Now what the ternary operator does here, that I am going to show you. So here we will put one question mark, and here we will say that number is even, or else we are going to say that it's odd number, and we are done with our ternary operator. So ternary operator is same equals to if and else condition. So here if you are seeing that this is a if condition where it is saying a number is divided by 12 and its remainder comes 0, and in case this condition returns true, then we are going to return the first value. In case the condition is wrong or it is false, then we are going to return odd as a second value here. So let me run this and I am going to show you how it is working. So like you can see here, the number which we are showing is not working. Why? Because we are going to print the value something like system dot out and dot println, and here I am going to paste. Now let me run this program, and here the program that will come here is odd. Of course we can see in our console here clearly. Let me increase the size of this console, and here you will see that the number is coming as a odd. Now I will make one number something like 6 here, so the number will come 16, and this will give the even value. So here it is clearly saying if this condition is true, then give even. In case this condition is false, then we are going to make it odd. Now coming to the next, that is if else ladder. I will explain you what is a if else ladder. So if else ladder is something where we are using multiple time if and else. That condition is said to be if else ladder. Now here again I am going to write one new program from starting, and I will show you how we are going to make it. Now let's say there is a student in a class. Now we want to find the grade of those students who have achieved some number in their examination. So let's say I am going to create one variable called marks, and here I am going to put something like 16. Now I am going to say that if the number achieved by a student in their marks is greater than 7, then what I am going to make it, I am going to say that the student has made its first division. So let me print that value system.out.println, and here I am going to say it's a grade. It means it is the first division in the class. Now same way we are going to make it, what if the student is having number between 60 or 70, something like that. So how we can do that? So here we are putting one more condition that is called else if, and here we are going to put something like 60. Let's make it 60, and we are going to make it if number is greater than or equals to 60, we are going to make it something like first grade, and here we are going to make it A plus, and first grade will be something like A. Now the second condition, what if the student is having a number greater than or equals to 50? So here what we are going to make it, we are going to make it 50, and we will say simply this is a second grade. So here for the second grade we are going to make it B. Now one more condition that we have is something like if a student is achieving or getting marks in his examination that is less than or equals to 40. So here it is like greater than or equals to 40. Then what we are going to check here? Simple, we are going to check that this student is getting just passed. So here I am going to say that it's just pass. Now here if you are seeing, if any number that is less than 14 or 40 or equals to 40, that we are going to ignore here, or else we can simply say that the student is fail. So here I am going to print here and I will say it's fail. So it is better not to ignore and put one more condition for the failure students. Now let me show you, we are having number something called 60. Now let me run this program here and we will say that our student that we are running here is fail. Now let me run this again, and here we are saying that student who has got number 60 is A grade. Now I will put here 30 and it will say the student is fail because it is not matching any of our else if ladder. Now let me run this and it will say that it's fail. The student has failed because he has scored less than 30 or 30. Now let me make it something like 50 and it will say it's B grade. So we are checking it for all the condition that we are having for the A to fail grade. Now here I am going to make it something like 75 here and I will run this condition and it will say that we are having A plus grade for the student who has achieved number like 75. So here the 75 score represent that student is passed with A plus grade. Moving to the next condition, we are done here with the else if block. So here this ladder that you can see, else if and else if, is showing to be the part of else if statements where we are using all those things as a ladder. Now coming to the next thing that we are going to learn about is the nested if statements. So now let me say that one more example and I will write into the code something like this. So from here I will remove this code and I am going to write one new code from starting. That will be more easy for the readability and understanding. So let's say I am having one value something like int a and here I will declare is something like 20. Now we are having another value that is called v and I am going to initialize it with the 30. So what we are going to check? We are going to check some condition based on if else block, which is a nested. Now I am putting one condition. The condition is that if a is not equals to b, then we are going to put value something like this, system.out.println, and here I am going to print a is not equals to b. So a is not equals to b. Now inside this if condition only, we are going to put one more condition. Now one more condition is going to be another if, and here if a is greater than b. So here simply I am going to put one statement printing that here a is greater than b. A is greater than b. Now the second condition that I am going to follow with if block only. So here I am going to put else. Now else condition will say one more statement. It will say that a is less than b. So here it is going to say that a is less than b or lesser than b. Now what about this condition if? After that I am again going to say that else print one more statement saying a is equals to b. A is equals to b. Now what will happen here? Let me format my code and I will show you how the things are working here. So here we are having two variables with number like 20 and 30. So here first condition says that a is not equals to b, which is the true condition, and in case this condition is true, the code will execute from here now and it will say a is not equals to b, which is exactly right. And second thing, it will say that check here whether the 20 is greater than 30 or not. So here the condition become false and it will return the false. After returning false, it will go to here. So remember, if condition will not be executed, execution will be done in the second else part, like you can see here. So the condition that you are seeing inside if block, these two conditions if else are known as the nested if else block. Now let me run this code and I will show you how the things are working. So let me run this, and here it is showing A is not equals to B, exactly that I have explained here, and now it will say that A is lesser than B. So here exactly it is saying A is lesser than B. Now let me make this number something like 40. So how it is going to run? So here it is saying A is not equals to B. For sure 40 is not equals to 30, that is why we are printing this line number 8. And here the first condition is true because 40 is greater than 30, that is why we are printing here A is greater than B. Now else condition, how it will be executed? Now let me make it 40 here, and we are going to get our desired else condition of first if block. So here A is equals to B, which is correct, and we have seen how it is working here correctly. So you have seen if else condition, which is the nested here. Now we are done with all 4 statements that we have seen here: if statement, if else statement, if else if ladder that I have covered with the help of numbers, and nested if else statement. In case you are having any problem, you can comment it out in below section. Thank you. Bye bye.